Hi, Gummy Bears. I'm ready to read chapter 4 of Clementine and the Family Meeting. And it starts off with Clementine and Margaret sitting together on the bus on the way to school the next day.
I told Margaret all about the new baby on the bus ride Tuesday morning. She smoothed away some imaginary skirt wrinkles and then said, "That's going to ruin everything. I don't know why you're allowing it." "What do you mean, allowing it? What can I do?" "Well, I'd move out," Margaret said, without even thinking about it for a second. I tried to imagine Margaret not living in her looks-like-a-magazine picture apartment, but I couldn't do it. "Where would you go?" "Hey, would you move in with me?" Margaret gave me, "Are you crazy?" look. "I want my own room. You're out of rooms. I'd go live with my father." "In California?" Margaret nodded hard. "I'd have my own room there with my own orange tree." "You'd have an orange tree?" "Yes, right outside my bedroom window, so I could just reach out and pick oranges and eat them in bed." Margaret was surprising me so much today, I was starting not to be surprised when she surprised me still. "Margaret? Oranges? In bed? What about—" "I'd keep a roll of paper towels beside the bed, of course," she said, as if she'd already planned out this California bedroom of hers, "and rubber gloves and a waste paper basket." "Oh," I said. "Well, what about Mitchell?" Margaret gave me another "Are you crazy?" look. High power this time. "He'd stay here. He could watch the baby when my mother goes to work. He'd have to change all of the diapers." Ha! Margaret stopped to shudder from the horror she'd be escaping. Sometimes Margaret can get kind of carried away with an idea. "Your mother's not having a baby," I reminded her. "Mine is." "I know," Margaret said. "I'm just saying if." At lunch, Waylon brought his tray over and sat down to give me some bad news. "If we don't find 18, we'll have to do another science project," he said. Just hearing Waylon say we might not find him made my throat hurt. I hadn't thought about that. What would we do instead? Waylon piled his carrot sticks onto his slice of pizza. "Vikings! Boarding their ship," he said. I forgot that before Waylon eats something, it has to be in a battle. I waited and tried to think of what would make a good project. Maybe we could build a solar system. Maybe we could recreate the stomach of a Tyrannosaurus Rex with mashed up Triceratops guts and stuff. Waylon scrambled his salad around the pizza. "Bad storm," he explained. "Here come the Vikings." Then he plowed his milk carton through the salad and crashed it into the Viking pizza ship. Some of the carrot sticks fell into the water, and Waylon said they were dead immediately. He scooped up a bunch of his not dead ones and started to whack the milk carton with them. He glugged all the milk down. "Okay, Vikings win," he said. Then he took a bite of the ship. "So what should we do?" I asked again. "I think it should be about my superpowers," he said. "Huh?" "I think our project should be about my superpowers," Waylon repeated. He eyed my chicken drumlets for some possible battle opportunities. I pulled my tray closer. "It has to be something science-y, Waylon," I reminded him. "Oh, my superpowers are science-y," Waylon said. "I'm going to be a very science-y superhero." "Like what?" I asked. "Like molecular transmogrification." I started to get interested. Those were sciencey words, all right. What does that mean? Whatever. "It means I can walk through walls," Waylon said. "Or I'm starting to. I'm starting to be able to transmogrify the molecules of me through the molecules of the wall." I got really excited. This was going to be way better than rats in a maze. It was even better than dinosaur guts. You can really do that? Sure. Watch. Waylon got up and walked up next to the Nutrition Rocks poster in the cafeteria. He pressed himself against the cinder block wall so hard, I thought his whole front would be one giant bruise. See? He asked through his smashed up mouth. I'm halfway through. I was just about to laugh at his joke about squashing himself into the wall when he pulled away and turned his face to me. His face was glowing, and I realized something. He believed it. He really believed he was transmogrifying his Waylon molecules through the cafeteria wall. I said, but it has to be a project about testing factors with control subjects, I think. That's where you come in, Waylon said. You could be the control subject, like rats 1 through 10. You'll be the one who can't transmogrify, who proves that I can. Waylon, I don't think this is going to work, I said. Why not? Waylon sat down again and squinted-eyed me. Can you transmogrify too? Maybe we should use one of my other powers. Just then, the meanest lunchroom lady, the one who always says no more to chocolate milk, came out and glared at my class, which meant they were making the really big mistake of laughing when they were supposed to be eating. I suddenly worried about 18. I hoped he wouldn't wander into the lunchroom and think it was a good place to set up his new home. I never liked the story of the 3 blind mice with all those carving knives. Here's the mean lunch lady. When I turned back to Waylon, he was still going on about his superpowers, and that made me feel really lonely, the way I did when Margaret was blabbering about makeup. It felt like now Waylon was getting on an airplane too, going somewhere I couldn't go. I finished my lunch without talking anymore, and even the applesauce tasted sour. Waylon followed me out at recess and started in again. Apparently one of his superpowers wasn't being able to figure out when people didn't want to talk to him anymore. Or maybe our project could just be about my selective invisibility, he said. Invisibility, I asked, getting a little bit interested again. Waylon said. That's in development too. Haven't you ever noticed me getting invisible? Sometimes it happens in gym class. I don't like gym class. You get invisible in gym class? Well, not yet, Waylon said. I get kind of cloudy. You never noticed that? No, sorry. How about we do something about dinosaurs? You can get more sciencey. How can you get more sciencey than dinosaurs? I asked. No, my superpowers are better. I'll show you my invisibility. Waylon looked around to make sure nobody was watching us. Then he rolled up his coat sleeves and his shirt sleeves and stuck out his arm. He squeezed his eyes shut and shook a little. There, he said, see? See what? I asked. My arm, see how it's a little bit invisible? How you can sort of see through it? I see that you're shivering, I said. It's freezing out. No, I'm getting invisible. Can't you see that? I looked at Waylon's face to see if he was kidding. He wasn't kidding. I don't know, maybe a little. I have to go in now, I said, because suddenly I did. I ran across the playground and barged into our classroom, even though the rule is no coming back inside unless it's an emergency. Oh, and that was the end of chapter 4. So next time, we'll find out what the emergency is. Bye, gummy bears. See you next time.